Here we go. Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to On the Sofa with yours truly, Esther Austin. Well, with me today, I've got another incredible guest all the way from South Africa. I like to say all the way because it sounds, like you're on the other side of the world and I'm connecting with you. And I've got Sarah Jane Nicolson, otherwise known as SJ. We call her SJ. So, SJ, thank you so much for joining me today on the sofa.
Thank you for having me, Esther.
Thank you. And SJ, I mean, there's so much to you. You've got so many titles and you do so much incredible work. But in a nutshell, in a peanut shell or a coconut shell, who is Sarah Jane Nicholson? I've got to ask that question.
Well, it's quite hard in a nutshell, but definitely I could say it in a coconut because
Thank
it's
you.
but at essence, I am in my sort of I'm passionate about independence, about artists, about Africa, and with everything and about amplifying female voices. So everything that I do aligns with those key pillars. I've been an artist manager for a pretty large part of my career. I'm the MD of the African division of Paradise Worldwide, which is an independent distribution company. And I'm also one of the founding members of Africa Rising Music Conference, as well as Women in Music South Africa.
And even though that's a coconut shell, once we start to unpeel and unpack that, it's actually so huge. It's a real global, I would say, movement, because that's what I see you as a movement. But you're also a voice, because you talk about, when I was doing my briefing around you, there's a lot of stuff that you do for women and around women, giving women a voice, offering them a voice, giving them a platform to share their voice. So can you tell us a little bit more about, the Africa Rising Music Conference that you are the founder of, Sarah? SJ, Sarah.
So about 3-4 years ago, pre-COVID, I connected with a friend of mine called Tumi Mugapi from South Africa. She was at the time working at Samro, and her and I set up Women in Music together, the South African chapter. And at that point, we started to do mini events. We started connecting, with females within the music business. And at that point, I was traveling quite extensively offshore with my artists, and sort of every chance I got, I was putting myself on the road with them. And with that, I built my connection capital to, speaking at conferences about the African market, what we're doing down there. And with building that connection capital, I noticed there was a lot of interest in the African market from the outside world, i.e. ex-Africa. And there was a need for understanding, knowledge transfer, and a platform like ARMC. So that, coupled with my Women in Music network within South Africa, we started hosting events and went from sort of a 50 people event to what now is a 2-day event with 2 showcases, 300 delegates, with a number of exciting panels. So I like to, it was something that I set up, but I didn't do it alone. And I always like to bring that into the conversation, because it's a platform it's not my platform. It's a platform for us as females, as executives from Africa, artists, and it really is a bit of a community. Well, at least that's what it's turning out to be, which is super exciting.
Excellent. And SJ, what is it about the female voice that is so powerful, and then on the other side that's been silenced so long? You've got the sort of the two sides of the coin. What is that? What do they both mean to you?
So I've been my development within the music business. I've always been working with, it's male dominated, and specifically in the South African market, when it comes to the industry being a female, it's particularly difficult. Not only because of our culture, but also because, we just don't have the access to the resources. And so we're often put in assistant roles, or, looked down upon when, maybe there's a contract. It's often like, we'll send it on to a lawyer, and most of the lawyers happen to be men, because they don't trust men often in certain, but I mean, it is changing. So for me, it's extremely important, because I didn't feel like I was supported through going through, my growth when it came to developing artists. I didn't have the access until I went outside to the MMF or to resources like on the move, or you have so many resources outside, but within Africa we don't have those resources or those networks and those connections. So it is specific to females and amplifying those voices, because I felt like I didn't have that.
Excellent.
And I guess it's also because it's because females working together, I feel, are stronger than any power. So
like
exactly, and I am now experiencing that for the first time, and so often we are against each other, and we need to come together and support each other, because we're so much stronger together than being apart. So
absolutely. I guess the being against each other is, there's something when you're in a certain place within your own self, within your own personal growth, you have to have got to a certain place where you can be strong enough within yourself to not just support, but to encourage and to another female in the same space. So, it's all part of our personal growth as well.
True, that's so true, actually. And that's something that I also realize, as you get older, you do grow, and, it's such a beautiful process to realize that you don't always have to be that person in the front, that person,
Absolutely.
And that's that. I love that, because it also, it allows me now, for example, I've got a lady that's working with us in South Africa on the distribution side. We've just got her on board, and she's a young female leading the way in South Africa for us on the ground. And I've now got other time to teach, and also to do things that I haven't always had time to do, because I have someone that has my back, and so I'm developing, because I'm giving the trust, and I'm developing in return. So I'm also gaining from it, which is
absolutely
so process,
There's a freedom in that, isn't there? There's a real sort of like, I can fly now and really expand my wings. But as you expand your wings, you're embracing others, and then they embrace you, and then you can build and grow on an even bigger scale.
Exactly. Different perspectives. Yours is not always the correct one or the right one for the situation. And we have our perspectives because of how we've been conditioned, and we have all of these previous little scar tissues that come up every now and then. And I appreciate the fact that I don't have the same scar tissues as others, so then your perspectives can be counter one another strength wise.
Yes, absolutely. And then this goes on to, it's almost like, so you've got the Women in Music event, you've got your Paradise Worldwide distribution. We've just shed light on Africa Rising Music Conference, and then you're also a global speaker, you're a label owner. That's what I said, when you talked about the coconuts, when we start to unpeel the coconut, there is so much to you. And also, I'd like to touch on, in a few weeks' time, there's Fame Week Africa that's going to be held in Cape Town between the 24th to the 26th of August. Can you tell us a little bit more about your role in that and Muziki Africa? Over to you again, Sarah.
Yes, so thanks, Esther. So this is something that is very close to my heart. It's an event that's happening in Cape Town, which is my home, where I actually grew up on a farm an hour outside of Cape Town in Wellington. And so it is an event that is hosted at the CTICC, and it is we have a 2-day music program orientated around the same as RMC, so building bridges, developing independence, and amplifying female voices. And basically, we have mirrored a lot of our really strong panels from our conference at RMC in May, and we're now reintegrating those conversations into the Cape Town context. So it's quite nice, because we have different audience, but we have the strongest of those conversations coming through at Fame Africa Week. And what we've done is and this is all about, I'm about collaboration. So why should two conferences not cooperate if we have different markets? And why should we not share our knowledge and share our expertise and share our connection capital to strengthen our industry? This is that thing that we need to combat, is that we're working against each other, and we need to be working for each other and with each other. And so I'm really grateful to have this opportunity to work with a wonderful team behind Fame Africa Week and Muziki Africa. And so we were chatting and getting really motivated about the conference panels. And then I thought, oh my gosh, we have this label, and I'm always looking for opportunities for young talent because, it's just, there's a wealth of talent, but there's just not enough opportunity in South Africa. I believe at least the right opportunity that empowers independence. And there's a lot of opportunity when you're sort of developing yourself and then you get signed to a major and you're locked in a deal, for sure. But there's not a lot of independent opportunity where you can have an opportunity, go into studio and then still be independent and release, with other parties. So I thought, let's do a call to action to young producers, artists, bands, to send in their demos, and they get an opportunity to be part of the Sounds of Muziki Africa. So we came up with this idea, like it was sort of an unplanned meeting, but we sort of, when one idea rolls off the other, and they're sort of like, start to create momentum. And that's sort of what happened. And after the meeting, we had the plan, we had the studio between all of our resources. We had the mastering studios in Berlin that are going to be on board. We have my label. We have the studio in Cape Town. And we have then artists that are with my label that they immediately said will be involved and will mentor. So basically what it is, it's 8 artists are chosen, 10 tracks, and 2 of the strongest will be in studio over 2 days, mentored by good artists from South Africa. For example, Chad Dadon, DJ Dreas. These are artists that are already developed, skilled, have released professional projects before, and they will get an opportunity to be in studio. So they're not alone. They get into studio, professional studio, and then they finish and polish their works. And we're going to film the whole thing. And yeah, it was embraced by the team, afterwards. And so now that's what's happening. And we've already got over 400 entrants.
Excellent. I love when you talk about when something happens and then it spills. And as you're talking, I just had this vision of, you got the spider's body and it's got its 8 legs, and you start off with one, and then it starts to grow. I mean, a spider might not be the best analogy, but you get what I'm saying.
Spider. It's just a magical spider.
That's right. And because you do. Okay, so there are so many different aspects to you, and there's so many different things to you, but they build into the bigger picture. And what I'm really hearing from this, SJ, is this whole thing of, let's, in my way, drop the ego and let's come together, because it is in coming together, coming together, building is much stronger. Because, we can all reach out and support someone on the way up. And it doesn't mean that we are going to be left behind. It just means that we are supporting others with us. And that's a very powerful thing to do, and a powerful place to be. And so this sort of brings together, even Fame Week Africa. So we just spoke about touched on Muziki Africa, but then also Fame Week Africa. What can people expect when they attend this incredible 3-day conference or 3-day B2B event?
Yes, so that's a great question, because you do have a lot of conferences out there, and sometimes when you're a young executive, you're not quite sure what to expect or whether this is the right conference for you. So it's a really important question to ask. Specifically for those people that are wanting to attend and spend their time over 2 days, listening to other people talk. So the conference is, I would say, it has varying of levels that can be relevant to so different parts of the industry and different expertise. For example, we have Women in Music will give a session about what is Women in Music, what is our collective about, why is it valuable to be part of Women in Music. So that can be relevant for top tier executives, but it also can be relevant for younger executives who are maybe looking to connect with like-minded community within the female community within the music business. Then we do level it up a little bit, so people can expect more sophisticated discussions around rights protection and monetization across platforms like the DSPs. We've got a brand panel that where we talk to a designer, an artist, and a brand, and they talk about how do you negotiate brand deals? When are you ready to enter into a brand partnership? We also go into discussion around sync deals, how to land a sync, and the concept of micro sync, which is a hot topic right now. So micro sync refers to the digital platforms like TikTok, Twitch, and so on. So we go a little bit deeper towards the end of day 2 into micro syncs, monetization online, and how to make sure that you're claiming your revenues with the right grid codes and so on across the platform. So as you can see, there's quite an extensive array of, I guess, topics. We also will be talking to Music in Africa. Eddie from Music in Africa will join us, and he will present to us what Music in Africa is and how you can benefit from the platform, which is super, super important. And they're also one of the partners at Muziki Africa or at Fame Africa Week. So yeah, you can expect high level conversation, but if you aren't, if you're entering the market, we do invite you to join the conversation, try and follow those high level convos and just ask questions. If you have anything that you don't understand, we're always friendly and happy to help.
Brilliant. It sounds very technical, and I mean, a lot of this is sort of new to me, but I'm always open to learning because I sort of manage, and I work with artists on the other side as well, legends and pioneers and indie artists. And so, oh yeah, we'll have a conversation. We'll have a conversation after this. But what I'm going to do now, and fingers crossed, I'm just going to go over to a brief ad break, and we're just going to look at some of the promotional material that's going out about both of these events that's coming up the 24th to the 26th of August in Cape Town, South Africa. And I'm going to be there, my first time in Cape Town. I can't wait. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to Sarah Jane Nicolson, also known as SJ. I like SJ. It's got that ring to it. So we'll be back on the other side. Oh, brilliant. I saw you rocking in. You're a bit like me. I remember when I was growing up, when I was small, I've come from a very strict Christian background, and I always had music in my soul, but because, my parents were very religious, so, anything outside of Christian music was devil music. But I always remember rocking to adverts, and it was almost like, so what's wrong with you? There was nothing wrong with me. You're just trying to dampen my soul.
Because my mom always used to say that as well. That's devil's music. And I was like, Mom, that's terrible. Like, this is like Mariah Carey. No, I'm joking.
I'm really enjoying this Marvin Gaye thing, what's going on. Thank you for being. Okay, there we go. Sometimes live TV people. Anyway, let's get back to Sarah Jane Nicolson, because we're going to wind down this interview soon. But we've spoken about what can be expected at Fame Week Africa, and there are lots of different partners that are going to be at the event. And I really would say, as Sarah's been saying, come along, see what's there, network, get involved, get topped up with knowledge, and then walk away and partner with someone that you meet at the event. And Sarah, what would you say from your perspective is unique about South Africa? What is it that you feel South Africa has that's unique, that offers the world?
Generally, we have the warmest people in the world, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in general, not when you're not talking about the music business, just we have, I believe, the most special people. I mean, everyone's special, but I just feel like the South African people have the heart of, like, you feel like when you have a conversation or you meet a South African, I've traveled throughout the world, and there are a lot of places that are quite cold, but the South African energy is just really warm and welcoming. So that's one thing that I love about the community within South Africa. What do we have sound-wise? Well, we have Amapiano, we have Gqom, we have house, we have Afro tech, we have like a dance culture like there's no other. If you've heard Jerusalem, you know that. So we have a massive YouTube culture. So if you're not on YouTube in Africa, then you're not anywhere. Yeah, so YouTube in Africa, as anyone will know, in the music space, you have to be on YouTube. So we have a very good community that is fan base wise really good to engage with if you have the right type of content. It's pretty easy to capitalize on those fan bases. Majorly untapped across the whole of Africa. Especially when you're looking to the streaming platform. So there's a lot of opportunity. That's something that South Africa has, and Africa in general. But South Africa, we're more developed than the rest of Africa when it comes to, the penetration of DSPs into the market. So data costs, for example, aren't as high as they are in the rest of Africa. And people are more integrated into population-wise, using smartphones and so on, more so than a lot of the rest of Africa. We have network, we don't have so many network issues and so on. So that means that you're able to connect with the community very easily at the drop of a hat. And yeah, I think more than anything, opportunity and good people.
Excellent. Well, Sarah, is there anything else that you want to share as I wind down this interview? It's been nice, it's been short, it's been succinct, but also it's been incredibly, I would say, educational and knowledgeable. And I've had fun. Yeah, I like your energy. I can see us partying. Hopefully you'll be at one of the premieres there.
I'd love to connect with you. And I think most of all out of this interview, if I can just say, I'd love to connect with anyone out there who, is keen to connect with me. I'm keen. I'm available. You can connect with me on socials. And Esther, I'd love to see you there and just give you a big hug.
Oh, yes, a big stuff. And also, I've heard of Snook. I know for this.
I love a good Snook.
I've heard about Snook for years. I remember
Snook. It's great.
Oh, okay. Well, that's got to be on the agenda for when I come over.
There's a place it's called Snookies. You can go there. It's very nice.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to put up details of where people can get you. I love this thing because you can just type things up there and then, and nobody knows what you're doing behind the scenes. So if you go to Fame Week Africa, you can find out all the information, people, on Fame Week Africa. I've done this before. So if you go to Fame Week Africa, you will find out all the details of what you need to know, what you can sign up to, and hoping to see you then. Also for those music artists, all the information that Sarah's spoken about is on the website as well. So Sarah, thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. And just keep empowering the world and doing what you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we're going to lead out now with, hopefully I can find it, ladies and gentlemen.
And I think finally the world is starting to take notice. And Africa is about to make a point and prove itself.
But I've made myself who I am in the city.
This is one of the greatest initiatives to actually kickstart that, to grow our South African industry.
Actually, South Africa has got so much rich storytelling.
It's important to allow those people to have that talent, meet the people who are looking for talent.
We're going to be starting in the next minute or so.
We are about bringing together the film, television, arts, animation, media, music, and entertainment industries together, recreating the platform for them to write business, to meet, to engage, network, and to change the shape of the game.
These are our stories, and we are ready to tell them. See you at Fame Week, MIP Africa, 24 to 26 August in the city of Cape Town.
Welcome to Soul TV, and we are now streaming live on Television 2.0. We will provide new TV shows such as documentaries, reality TV shows, talk shows, cookery programs, music shows, concerts, red carpets, and more events, and a whole lot more. If you would like to find out more or run your own stream television channel, check us out on the website, all right? That's www.stream.com. Again, that's www.stream.com. Soul TV on Stream Television 2.0. It's the station that gives you more.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, just like to say thank you to Sarah, SJ, and seeing you on the other side, seeing you in South Africa, and do check out what's happening there. Thank you so much, and peace.
Cool.